If she was a superhero, she would be the world's most beautiful and youngest super cat lady. And I mean that with a lot of love. It is Mixi, front woman for Stitched Apart, back with us tonight on Loudwire Nights. How are you, lovely lady?
Oh my gosh, super cat lady. I've like can already picture the outfit.
I was picturing it too. It'll have a cat in the chest, of course. I don't know about the colors.
Yeah, I think it would be like a Snuggie kind of situation.
I love it.
With cat slippers or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is my normal attire, actually, so.
I don't think it could be like a super sexy cat lady outfit. Those things don't really go hand in hand, but we'll work on the visuals. Hilarious. All right. So before we get into what Stitched Apart has coming up, let's talk a little bit about what it was like playing those massive gigs with Godsmack and Volbeat recently. I know it was a big deal for the band.
Oh my gosh, like something like that, when you do something like that in your life, leading up to it is probably the most craziest emotions that you can possibly have. Like the biggest thing we've ever done. And there are so many feelings that go into play, and like you want to do the best you absolutely can. And, there's only like 10,000 people watching, so don't mess up.
Right.
But it was crazy. I felt like I was living my childhood dream every single day. It was really like just breathtaking every day. Like it almost felt like it was a dream because now it's over and I'm like, I just want to go back there. And like, so I had to soak up every moment of it. It was amazing.
Sully Erna really believes in you, really believes in the band. He was on the show recently talking about his foundation. And we, of course, got into the topic of Lost, which is Stitched Apart's new song featuring Sully Erna. Tell us like the backstory and how that friendship started blooming and turned into a song, or which came first.
It's really kind of crazy. So at the beginning of the writing process on this new record, the label was like, hey, do you want to collaborate with Sully and see, if you guys can come up with a song? It was like one of the first songs. We ended up writing a couple, but we wrote 70 for this new record, so we didn't end up using them. Maybe one day they'll come out. I don't know. But right. So we just immediately, like 2 years ago, became like best friends, when you just meet someone and instantly you just like have a connection. You feel like you've known them forever. It was just one of those experiences, and we kept in touch over the years. And when it came time towards the end of the writing process, my management was like, hey, you're friends with Sully. Would you want to hit him up and ask him if he'd be down to like sing on one of your songs? And I'm like, I don't want to pull that card. Like, I don't want to, ask him that. Right. Like, I just want to be his friend, But I gained up the courage and I just texted him. I sent that text that you're like, oh, I can't take this text back. And first I was just like, hey, I got to ask you something super awkward. He's like, you can ask me anything, don't worry. And I'm like, all right, so would you be okay with singing on a song? And he's like, yeah, as long as it's the right song, let's pick it out. And it took us a few months to figure out what song. Like nobody could agree on stuff. They were talking about doing covers and everybody had a different idea for what they wanted it to be. So I didn't think it was going to happen. And then when we were finished writing the whole record, I was listening to Lost, and I realized there's this really cool instrumental breakdown-y kind of part in the bridge, and I was like, this would be a perfect spot for Sully to sing over. And so I asked management. They all loved the idea. Then I sent it to Sully, and I was like, oh, my God, he's going to hate the song. He's never going to be my friend again. And he was like, I really like this song. This is really good, and let me just sit with it, see what happens. So we're still waiting, wondering, like, is he actually, I got to get him on the song. And finally, so Godsmack moved their studio to Nashville, and he's like, hey, I don't want to just email you my vocals. It would be more sentimental if we like did it together. So I flew out to Nashville, and he sang on it. And then after we were done, he was like, so who's going to sing my part? And I'm like, well, one of the guys in the band can sing it, or somebody that we're out on tour with, preferably you. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And then that's kind of how that all started.
Wow, that's a very stressful story. Like, I was stressed out for you because it is weird to have to ask a friend for a favor and you don't want them to take it the wrong way. I could imagine you like sending the text really fast and then putting the phone down and just being like, read it if it's good news to me.
Yeah. And actually since then, I've gotten the courage to just ask almost everybody I'm friends with that's in bands, like, I want to play some shows with you, or I want to like work together. Let's do stuff. Like, I realized I thought that beforehand people just knew I'd want to tour with them, or they just knew that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't I want to tour with you? Your band is awesome.
Right.
But they don't automatically know that, you know? So I've just gotten courage and just started asking everyone.
That's awesome. So it was a growing experience. You got to put yourself out there. So that's a cool story. You guys released your debut album, Never Alone, in 2016. As you mentioned, you're working on the sophomore record. What can you tell us about the new record? How far along, the sound?
We're finished. It's done, mixed, mastered. Everything's all good to go.
Ooh.
It is, yeah. I mean, we did 70 songs for it, so it took a little while, but it's all done. We just figured out what we're going to do as far as the plan goes, and it's going to be a little unique for the rock community because it's not going to be the way that albums are usually released. We're going to try something kind of a little different to give people music consistently, and like every month you get a new song kind of thing. So I'm really excited about how it's going to roll out. We're just trying something new. I mean, I think that with streaming and everything like that that's going on, that this might actually help, but who knows what'll happen. We're the first rock band, I think, to try it out this way. So there will be something new by the end of this month as well.
Okay, that's exciting. What can you tell us about the sound?
Well, it was really, really hard to find something that would evolve the band, and I think that's what took so long. We wanted to grow but not lose our identity, and I think that's the struggle with every artist. They want to evolve as an artist, and they still want to keep the core of who they are. So it took a while. Like in the beginning, we were throwing paint completely different directions, and it took us like 60 songs to really dial it in. Yeah, I mean, it really did. I mean, we wanted to make something a little unique that can't be recreated with the sound design kind of stuff. And so what we did, it was a lot of like using my voice as almost like an instrument in the background as a vocal layer throughout a lot of the songs, which can't be recreated unless you have me singing over it or you get those samples, you know. That's like the only thing we can make. I mean, music, almost everything's been done. There's like no way to do something brand new. The only way you can do that is by taking somebody's literal voice and turning it into its own instrument, you know?
Therein lies the challenge, right? Are you actually on a break now till the Firestorm tour kicks off July 12th with Like a Storm, Through Fire, Wilson, and yourself?
Yeah, I am fostering bottle baby kittens for the month.
Oh, gosh.
And yeah, that's what I do on my time off. I was like, I have a month, I can, bottle feed some kittens, give them back, and then go back on tour.
That's so sweet. I was actually going to ask you, like, you recently celebrated your birthday and you were selflessly asking for donations to the Kitten Rescue. If you guys don't know, she's very, very, very involved with the organization, as she just mentioned. Can you give us like your most recent happy ending kitten story? I feel like the world would be a better place and like listeners would smile if they just heard a happy ending kitten story for no apparent reason.
Well, it had been a year since I fostered any bottle babies because a year ago, the last batch of kittens I got, there was this little runt who was super, super sick. Like it would eat, but it couldn't go to the bathroom, and it was constantly very lethargic, and it really like freaked me out emotionally. And I had to go, I think I had to go on tour or do something. Oh no, I had to write the record. And so I gave them to the owner of the rescue. I was like, I don't think I can take this kitten any further. Like, I don't know how to fix it. I gave it to the owner, and I don't know, he's like magical with these babies when they're very ill in the beginning. And I hadn't asked him in a year how the kitten was doing, and I finally asked him right before I decided to foster again. And he said that he had a full turnaround. He's completely healthy, and his cousin ended up adopting him with his brother. So it was really relieving because I think I was subconsciously really bummed out, and I was scared of fostering again because it was so difficult knowing that like I couldn't save this baby. And but he's good. Yeah.
That's a beautiful story. I love that. That's so sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You all recently showed some love and respect for stagehands that make the magic happen, right? Who do you think has the hardest job behind the scenes that we would have no clue?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was watching the whole entire crew of Godsmack and Volbeat set up the stage every single night, and they're the first people there, and they're the last ones to leave. And I was just like, wow, that's a lot of work. They're carrying these huge lights, making sure nothing falls. And you go to the show and it's all set up and you're just like, you don't think about how quickly they got all that set up and how stressful it has to be to get it right, every single night. It was just really miraculous watching all this happen. And I don't even know how they all got there before us. Because we would leave one show and before they would leave and they'd get there before us. I'm like, how do you guys get here? Either we're just really slow or they're just speeding by, but they had to get there early enough to set up,
Yeah. The unsung heroes. Shout out to all the stagehands that make the magic happen out there. You know what? Let's go from big venues to strange ones. You had a gig in an old elementary school cafeteria. What's the strangest venue Stitched Apart has ever played where you were like, I don't know about this venue? That one sounds pretty unique.
We actually played there, ironically, the first time with Like a Storm back in 2015. And I just think it's so cool because it brings you back. It even smells like childhood, There's something about it that makes you want to have recess and, play patty cake or something. But I love that venue. That's one of my favorites. We've also played in, churches and haunted, really creepy haunted houses and stuff like that. But I think the school is one of my favorites.
That's so cool. It looked like a cool venue. We'll wrap on this note. Speaking of childhood memories, do you have a song that really stands out? The song of summer, you were a kid, maybe a teenager in high school, whatever the case may be, but it was your jam. And whenever you hear it, you're like, the song of summer.
It has to be anything from AFI Sing the Sorrow, probably. I think I had that album on repeat pretty much for an entire, maybe 2 summers.
All right. AFI, they got the double summer treatment. All right, beautiful.
Yeah.
Stitched Apart's new song featuring Sully Erna is called Lost. Their sophomore album is on the way, so we'll keep our ears peeled for that. Then it's the Firestorm tour with Through Fire, Like a Storm, Wilson, Stitched Apart. Thank you so much for your time, Mixi. Always a pleasure.
Oh, I always love talking to you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Babs. Take care. Good luck with the eye situation.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm going there right now to make sure that they didn't mess up.
Yeah, you're going to need your eyes on stage, so I hope all continues to go well.
Well, I realized I can't see the first row of people in an arena, how far away they were. They're blurry faces, and I was like, oh, my God, I got to do something about this.
Did you not wear contacts, though? How blind are you?
So a year ago when we were on the Hailstorm tour, I went to check my eyes thinking maybe I had a little astigmatism, and they were like, no, you need glasses all the time. And so I didn't realize how bad they were. They're just fuzzy. I think when you get glasses and you know how you're supposed to be seeing, I realized that I should just either keep getting glasses or contacts or just LASIK it up. And my dad did LASIK, so I decided to just do it. And, oh, God, I had almost a panic attack before they went in on my eye because you're awake for it. You're they're cutting it open and lasering it. It's all messed up.
It sounds like pure hell.
Yeah, well, it didn't hurt at all. It's just you can see it. And it's creepy.
Well, I'm glad you're doing better. People in the first row will be happy to know that you can see them. You're all there. So thank you again.
Right?
Thanks, Mixi.
Thanks for having me.